our brand promise is always this believe in travel. And I couldn't feel more strongly about that right now.
Hello, good morning, Lindsay. Thank you for joining us today. You are the CEO of Preferred Hotel and Resorts. Your network is a lot about relation with your partners. You have many hoteliers that are operating under your brands. What was your first sign or message when the situation occurs toward your partners?
So obviously it hit our Chinese hotels. And at that point, that was fairly early on in the year. It seemed like it was a sort of contained situation. But when it became apparent that this was now going to become a global epidemic, one of the things we did was actually record a video message that went out to all of our hotel partners, as well as the travel trade and other partners we work with. Personal video message from me expressing our concern, our support, and our gratitude for the partnership, and that we were confident that we could manage through this situation together. And that was very early on in this process. That was early March.
Do you see already some sign of recovery in some region? We heard that Asia and China is somehow back on track. Europe, so and so. Do you have the same sign inside your network?
We do, and it's funny. I woke up this morning and I was reading some emails from our hotel partners in Europe in particular, because we had the TNL World's Best Awards came out, and we had a really list of hotels that were on that, and so reaching out. And the good news is things are getting better. Obviously, China had the first bright shoots of recovery, and but it was exciting to hear from hotels in Ireland and Spain who, especially the resort hotels are doing much better in many cases. They're running 59 to 60% occupancy, which is great to hear. I think that they're expecting that that'll be the case through summer, and then there's a bit of a question mark as we hit October and fall. And I think that's again where a lot of our hotel partners are a little concerned, and we don't have a lot of visibility as to what will happen.
Yeah, I think it's the same situation for everyone. I remember from the previous crisis, usually you have a lot of independent and unbranded hotel that suffers more than those who are operated or those who are operating under the flag of a brand. Do you believe that this crisis will emphasize the added value that a brand like Preferred Hotels and Resort provide to their partners? There is some sign in terms of commercialization or in terms of support that your partners already appreciate?
I think independents in a lot of ways can manage through this better than some of the chains. I mean, partially because of it's just a different fee structure that we're set up than some of the chains. But what our goal is, and when we work with our independent hotels and our small hotel groups, is we really give them all that sales and marketing infrastructure. We have a global loyalty program that again that's one of the key drivers that helps hotels this time is tapping into that loyalty base. The closed network, you're able to offer special deals and value added. We spend a lot of time talking to our hotel partners to really understand what they feel that they need within their market, because it's changed so dramatically. It's for us, it's always been a very consultative approach, and because we've got a global footprint, we're able to do that, and we've been able to pivot and take advantage of that structure to help our hotels. One of the exciting services that we launched actually almost 2 years ago, but it's really hit its stride now, is PHG Hospitality Consulting. And this was a new division that was launched really to provide ancillary services to our hotel partners, especially when you're independent. It's either overwhelming to find certain services, or you maybe don't need it on the same scale. So I'll give some examples. That would be everything from public relations and social media support to revenue management for hire. So maybe you've lost a revenue manager on property and you're looking for somebody to bridge that gap for a period of time or do special projects. We're seeing a lot more of demand also in just sort of renovations or reopenings, and can you have somebody that's going to provide that support and that checklist? And right now that's been really critical. Hotels have closed down. In many cases, they've had to furlough or lay off a lot of their associates. And as they're ramping up, they're trying to figure out, how many people do they bring back? what sort of level of support, and we're able to provide a lot of those services for them on in a more temporary standpoint. So they might need just 4 or 6 months versus a 2-year retainer in many cases. So that's been an exciting area for us to be able to provide that level of support for our partners, in addition to sort of the core services that we do as their partner on the preferred hotels and resort side.
Everyone agrees to say that this pandemic has accelerated some trends that used to be there before, like the green trends. I saw that you have like an acquisition that go to that direction, which is called Beyond Green Travel. How happy do you have to have made this move at this time?
It really felt good to have something positive to announce during all of this, I must admit. And actually, ironically, it was an acquisition that we made back in February, but it hit right during the middle of this. So we did wait to announce it. And it's an acquisition of a company that provides sustainable tourism consulting. The founders, Kostas and Sally Christ, are an incredible team, and we're thrilled to have them a part of the preferred family. So they've really been focusing on providing consulting services to countries, hotels, or travel-related companies on how to really support sustainable tourism. And that goes well beyond just, I'll call it sustainability on property. It really is kind of about the 3 pillars, which also have to do with heritage and culture and community. So they're a great organization. We have a lot of plans in terms of how we're going to grow and expand what they do. But it's been great to have them come on board, because they can support our hotel partners, who are very, very focused on that in many ways, but really kind of raise the bar. In addition to supporting our destination consulting side of the business. So there's a lot of countries and destinations that are looking at, if you look at the numbers and how tourism has grown and how it really supports economies, it's important that we really can sustain that. And I think that there travelers more than ever, as we come out of this pandemic, I think that the concept of wellness, sustainability, people, places, and planet, is going to be more important than ever. I think that people think a little bit differently about how they travel, why they travel, and the impact that they're going to have when they travel. So we're thrilled about the partnership, and a lot of great things to come.
What in the hotel industry will change for long within this pandemic, to your opinion?
Yeah, we were talking about this yesterday. I mean, I think that a lot of the operational things that have been put in place, whether it's keyless, being able to use your phone to check in, check out, get access to your door, some of the health and safety. I think that those are good and permanent things to stay. But in some cases, it might be up to the customer to choose. I think that one thing that long term might change, and I think that's been probably the case for a while. Some people want to actually be checked in and converse with somebody and walk in the room, and others don't. So I think, but I do think that a lot of the technology that is coming into play to limit contact, I think that's here to stay, and I think that that's a good thing. But I do think that the customer will ultimately decide long term how they want to use that, and if that's the experience they want to have. I think about it, travel in general, a lot of these things as it revolves around health is probably a good thing. Long term, COVID aside, there's a lot of other times of the year that the flu and other things run through, especially for the corporate traveler. So, I think that obviously we all hope that the concept of masks doesn't last forever. And I think that that's probably the thing when, as soon as that's not a necessity, that will go away. But I think for the most part, a lot of the operational changes that are being made are probably positive, and it's forced our industry to rethink, reimagine, and get creative.
The idea of a network is to try to expand, to have the best balance footprint on different big region over the globe. How do you see the growth in terms of network and properties within your network? Do you believe it will be on hold for maybe 24 months, or it's different statement?
It's always been interesting for me. Some of our greatest growth as a company has happened during either economic downturns or times like this. Sometimes when times are good, hotels don't think that they need you. When times are bad, we're a great partner, and I think that that's really where hotels see our strength. So interestingly, our development pipeline has been very strong. So that's been a bright spot during this time period. And we're seeing growth globally. So, really seeing growth throughout Europe, through the Americas, um, Asia in particular. Some of the areas where it's been a little bit slower might be Africa and parts of South America. But that has been really exciting for us to see that growth and our footprint continue to grow.
If we focus a little bit in Europe, what will be the area where you like to have more properties or to expand more?
Oh gosh, this is always a good question because luckily the world is a big place, but Europe in particular, areas that we would love to grow, or markets where we think that we're maybe underrepresented would be Germany. I think France would be a great example of another country we would like to see more outside of Paris. Some of the secondary and tertiary markets, and that would probably be true of most cities in Europe. We've got wonderful footprints in the major city centers, and then we want those secondary and tertiary markets where especially the leisure traveler is they fly into a major market, they spend a few days, and then they want to go explore. So that could be true in a lot of cases. Scandinavia was an area that 2-3 years ago we didn't have anything, and now we have a beautiful collection of hotels. So those would be, like I said, Germany, the secondary markets outside of Paris would be great for us. I think that there's a lot of destinations in Portugal and Spain that would be great to expand. But that's my regional team. They have a long list of markets that they'd like to see us grow into.
I'm sure. Do you see or do you have plan in the coming month and years to launch new brands or new services that will be probably more aligned with how the clientele expectation evolve in the coming month?
The short answer is yes. So there, I think as a travel company, we're always looking at potential acquisitions of businesses that either would help provide valuable services to our hotel partners that they're maybe already using, but it would be great to do that within our own umbrella. Um, as it relates to launching another brand, yeah, I look forward to talking to you in the fall. I think that we're excited about just some areas that we think. Said when you look at the consumer and travel trends and demands, we already have a beautiful existing portfolio of hotels, and it's just sort of maybe how you segment that and really tell that story a little bit differently, so that it's easier for them to find that hotel and that experience that they really want.
What is your brand promise for the futures to our new partners and new clients?
Our brand promise is always this believe in travel. And I couldn't feel more strongly about that right now. And I think that there's a lot of pent up demand for it. And I think that as we come out of this, we're going to see the travel industry. It'll take us longer to recover, but I think it's going to be a strong recovery. And the other thing I'd say is, recently we were launching our new development campaign, and it was all about freedom. That when you're an independent hotel, there's freedom to it, and the freedom to travel. And I think, again, more than ever, that resonates as not only a company and a brand, but I just think in general, what has been happening. I think that when we're able to really roll that out, it's going to be fun, because I think that the freedom to travel and the belief in travel are really going to be the inspiration that keeps our industry an important factor in the economic recovery.
Lindsay, thanks a lot to share our opinion and views about the current situation. And thanks a lot to sharing your leadership within the hospitality industry. And I already noted that we have some appointment in September or in the coming month to disclose the news about preferred hotels and resorts. Thanks a lot, and have a safe stay home.
It was my pleasure, and look forward to talking to you as well.